Welcome to the January installment of my reading logs. So, back again, we are starting the new year fresh, which means also a fresh countdown of books to read. So, start off, this one I actually did start back in 2023, but it was a longer one. But, first time reading it was Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. I started December 3rd of 2023 and finished January 11th of 2024. So I've read the first book in the series and I didn't love it, but when my sister was like, hey, here's the second one, read it. And like, I can't turn it down, right? Because content. And I dropped my pencil, hold up. There we go. No, because content. You can't ignore the opportunity to read something, right? But yeah, the writing style is not my favorite with this author. It is very, very millennial from the characters to the writing itself. And if you didn't know, I am not a millennial, so it doesn't relate to me quite as much as it could. You kind of have like a little bit of a situationship going on. You have a little bit like still lacking a little bit of consent here and there. It starts becoming interesting like 270 pages in, and you know, that's great, it's becoming interesting, but also a little bit too late to start being interesting, you know? Like we've moved on. Yeah, I mean, there's some communication in it, and that's never fun. Overall, just not my favorite author, not my favorite book, but I did like it more than the first one, so that's something, right? So continue moving on. First time reading A Very Merry Little Meet Cute by Julia Murphy and Sarah Simmons, something like that. I started December 30th of 2023 and just finished it January 2nd, 2024. Now this I got on a bookstore on a sale because it was a Christmas book, it was post-Christmas. But when my sister and I were looking at them, one of the workers there was like, we were looking at one and she was like, you know, that's only like 1 pepper of spice, you know? Now this one is like 4 chili peppers of spice, you know? So it's like, obviously I got the spice one. Now this also is not my favorite. It's very cheesy. The boy is a major simp, which we don't hate, but it wasn't really done in a very endearing way. You know, it's not like Pia Malark simp. It was just simp. There's a Moulin Rouge reference, which is kind of fun. Oh, I think that's why I put the Asher one that I couldn't read. Yeah, Moulin Rouge reference. Which is funny that 2 books I read back to back had a Moulin Rouge reference. But you know, we love that. That's sick. There's like a little part where this authors have clearly heard of cosplay, but not really know what it is, because they're talking about how people were cosplaying. Because basically this is supposed to be a Hallmark movie of sorts. Obviously not Hallmark for copyright, but we're supposed to be believing that people are actually cosplaying these Hallmark characters, and that's a little bit too far-fetched. Cosplayers cosplay a lot of things. I just cosplayed a bird. You know, we love that. Video coming out next week on this channel. But Hallmark characters, I don't think we're really getting there. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. It had spice. The woman was right. It had a lot of spice, but it was definitely not my favorite. So the next one is technically a reread because I read it on Webtoon. This Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman, and I read it January 15th of 2024. Now obviously we have talked about all the Heartstopper books. We are caught up on Heartstopper. So we know my feelings. I love the series. I love these characters. It is fantastic. It is phenomenal. It never fails me. So yeah, but this volume covers them growing up. You have all the situations are a little bit less sugarcoated than they have previously been. You do have a bit of like British distance problems that as Americans is always kind of funny, because they're like, oh my god, that's so far away, and it's like 3 hours, and like, besides my college, that's the closest college to us is 3 hours, so like, I don't, okay. Like, I'm over here whenever there's a concert being like, oh my god, gotta go to New Orleans, because that's the closest place for a concert, and it's like 4 hours away. That's not bad, you know? 4 hours is not bad, but, you know, British. You have a lot of safety, especially sexual health safety, which is kind of great to see. You know, we love safety. You have a lot of respect of boundaries. Oh my god, we love that. We love boundaries. We love respecting boundaries. We kind of cover Nick's ESFJ personality type in there too, of how he's there for everyone, but people aren't necessarily always there for him. And as an ESFJ, it's kind of like, aw, that's sweet. But yeah, but also like just shows how great their friends are. But yeah, I mean, it's Heartstopper. Has it ever failed us once? No, it has not. So, of course, the best you can get. And then the last book I read was also a first read, was The Long Game by Elena Armas. I read it January 17th of 2024 to January 24th of 2024. Now, I do like her writing. I have read both of her other previous books. Let me know if you want to see them on the channel too, because I would be totally down to reread them and review them. But, this one's definitely my least favorite of the ones that she has written so far, just because while I'm here for it, you know, while it's fun, I definitely don't think that they're the most stable. Like, a little bit toxic here and there. There's a little bit of, like, getting down on femininity a bit, which I'm not necessarily here for either. So, it's kind of like, a little bit toxic here and there, but I still read it. I still enjoyed it. But it's definitely something to take note of, and definitely puts you a little bit off, especially compared to her other books so far. But you have characters majorly messing up earlier on. You have a question. Yeah, I mean, it takes a while to get good, but it's not as long as the previous book that took 270 pages to get good. So we'll take it. And yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's a romance book. There's not too much to really say or talk about. The characters, again, I had very mixed feelings on throughout, but hey, you know, it ends up fine. So now the main girl I did end up liking a lot more as the story went on, because I think you figure out why she's kind of like a mess and kind of just roll with it. It's very much like Mickey Mouse type of mess and anxiety. So, you know, it's all good. But yeah, I mean, still enjoyable, still good, but definitely check out Spanish Love Deception and American Roommate Experience. But yeah, so there we go. There's January. I said I was gonna read more. I did read one more than I require myself to read for videos, so you know, that's something. We'll take it. February might not be too great just because obviously I am con crunching. If you know anything about me, is February's PrinceCon. That's one of my biggest cons. So don't expect too much out of me. But hey, you got videos, so you know, that's how it is. Yeah, but yeah, I'm still scared. Obviously, it's just maybe not 4 books, but yeah, I'll see you guys next week in terms of my cosplay diaries for Tulin, and I'll see you next month for February. So until then, bye guys.